What's going on, people? Welcome back to episode 8 of the Hip Hop Orchestra presents with me, George Savides. And apologies that it's been a little while since I've actually uploaded an episode. Things, as you know, have been a little bit crazy at the moment. But I'm back with another episode. I'm going to move this mic down quickly. And in this episode, I want to talk about competition. Competition in music, because as we all know, the industry is full of competition. A zillion people doing the same thing as you, and all trying to fight for the top spot. But I want to talk about kind of the rise of different orchestras. Because like I said in the first episode, I mentioned that we've been doing this for 8 years now. And when we started, like I mentioned in the first episode, I saw obviously a couple of other people doing what we're doing, but mainly as solo musicians or the odd performance with the orchestra. But it seems like the last 2-3 years now, there's been a huge rise in people kind of doing what we're doing now. Obviously with the Hip Hop Orchestra, obviously, but there's been other companies and orchestras such as No Strings Attached. Shout out to No Strings Attached, actually, because we've worked with them a couple of times. Amazing. Shout out to Danny Jarrett from No Strings Attached as well. But the other events lot are people like Reimagine, who actually approached us for a few events, but unfortunately they didn't go through for some reason. They approached us, and then they went blank. I don't know why. And different groups such as Rogue Symphony, the House and Garage Orchestra. Shout out to Ishmael Hamilton, by the way. We might be working on a big project together, so watch out for that one. Another one is, it's going to be a second. Things like people like the Infinity Orchestra, String Infusion. Shout out to Emma Rushworth, by the way. Metropole Orchestra, the Heritage Orchestra. But talk about the Heritage Orchestra, I want to shout out to someone who I really respect, actually, because he's been doing this for years, and he's a really lovely guy, George Buckley. I remember, actually, I spoke to him a long time ago, a few years back, because I wanted to see if we can work together on a joint project. And he actually got us free tickets to his show at the Royal Albert Hall. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out, but he gave me some really good compliments saying how I'm better than he is, which I highly doubt. But shout out to George Buckley, super lovely guy, man. What else is there? Yeah, there's been a lot of other people doing what we're doing now, and I think it's fantastic. But people might think, like, how does it affect us, and how do I feel about competition? I think competition is good, man. Like, if you're the only one doing what you're doing, yeah, it's amazing, and you get more opportunities. But at the same time, sometimes that could lead to boredom. Not boredom, but you can sometimes get a bit lackadaisical. You can sometimes get a bit overwhelmed or kind of lose track of what you're doing, and maybe sometimes not put as much work in. But that hasn't affected me, because my work ethic, I feel, is immense. The amount of work I put in is amazing, and I think having competition is amazing, man, because it makes you push for a lot more success. It makes you want to be better in yourself, and I think, yeah, competition is really, really good. But does it affect me or annoy me? Not at all. Like I said, man, like, having competition makes you want to be better. But what does annoy me, though, is when I see events that are perfectly suited for the Hip Hop Orchestra to perform at, and I put ourselves forward for these events way in advance, or even kind of leading up to it for future events, and they go for a different group or a different orchestra. That does annoy me, because, like I said, they might have, like, say, a hip hop classic night with an orchestra, and they choose a different group other than ours, or different orchestra, thinking we're perfectly suited for your event, but you go for someone else instead. To me, that doesn't really make sense, but oh well. But yeah, competition is really healthy, though, as well, and I kind of do feel, in a way, responsible for the kind of rise. I'm not big-headed at all, honestly, believe me on that. But I feel like we're kind of, well, me especially, that I feel kind of responsible in a way for the rise of different orchestras now coming through, because, like I said, we were the first. I believe that we were the first kind of official orchestra doing what we're doing, focusing on one genre of music, hip hop, and giving that orchestral twist to it. So I feel like, in a way, I'm kind of I'm the grandfather, I'm the godfather in a way. But look, I'm just happy that I'm really happy and excited that other people are doing what we're doing now as well. Like we still got the House and Garage Orchestra, who are wicked, Infinity Orchestra, String Infusion, Metropolitan Orchestra, the Heritage Orchestra, who were, I admit, that they were doing it before us, but I just feel like we're the first regular group doing it in London and England and other places as well. But this brings me to my next idea of what I actually wanted to do for future events. I was speaking to the Royal Albert Hall actually about a potential idea that I wanted to, like I mentioned a minute ago, me and Ishmael Hamilton, who runs the House and Garage Orchestra, who've performed like made all over the place, O2, I think Royal Albert Hall as well. They've done some sick stuff. They're wicked. We had a meeting about a year or two ago before the madness about what we could do together actually, and the idea that I had was based on anyone who knows this event, the Red Bull Culture Clash, which is for me one of the best events I've ever been to. Went to that with my cousin Terry actually. Shout out Terry, baby. Personal joke, inside joke. We went to the Red Bull Culture Clash. I think about 2015, 16. And it was one of the best events I've ever been to. It was madness. For those that haven't been to it, this is how it runs. So basically, they don't do it anymore, but how it happened was they got 4 genres of music, and it's basically bringing the art, like some of the biggest artists of each genre, to battle it out over 5 rounds, I think it was. And the genres were garage, hip hop. What else was there? I can't remember. What was it? House. Sorry, not house. Garage, hip hop, dub, and something else. But basically, how it works is, so each round there'll be 5 different rounds. So the first round, for instance, will be something like playing your best tracks. Second round, we'll be playing some of the best tracks of the other genre. So hip hop might play reggaeton, for instance, and garage might play hip hop. Third round, we'll be playing dubs. So basically, unreleased versions of some of the biggest hits, and a couple of other rounds. It was sick. It was lit. It was a fucking sick event, man. But I wanted to base my event on this. So basically, what I want to do a orchestral clash. So basically, having between 2 and 4 orchestras battling it out over several different rounds. And I thought it hadn't been done before. Yes, we had the Red Bull Culture Clash, but nothing's been done in terms of an orchestra event where we have different, obviously, genre orchestras battling out over against each other at a sick venue. And I mentioned this idea to the Royal Albert Hall earlier this year, and they loved the idea. So, look, I doubt it will happen. But they love the idea, so you never know what happened. But to run a orchestra battle will be sick. Like, if this is something that you want us for it to happen, then give me a shout. But I think, look, having different orchestras battling out over different rounds, say for instance, one will be playing the best, like the Red Bull Culture Clash, having one orchestra playing their favourite tracks. Second round, we're playing the other genres. So, like, we might play garage. The garage and house orchestra might play hip hop, and take it from there. But yes, just to recap, I think having competition in anything you do, not just music, but whether it's sports to filmmaking to schools to education, having competition makes you a better individual. And just don't let it get to like thinking, well, yes, this annoyed me a couple of times, like I said, that where there's events that are happening that would be perfectly suited for the hip hop orchestra, but they end up choosing someone else, even though we've been doing it for the longest. But at the same time, don't let it get to you. Use it as a form of inspiration to make you better. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop right there before I keep rambling on. But watch out for the next episode soon, and peace.